Scorpio, welcome to You Can Handle the Truth Tarot. I am, of course, your host and reader, Casey Phoenix. This is your money reading, is what this is about. And honestly, out of all the readings so far, you're the fifth one. Yours is probably the most direct in what the energy is. I'm working with four decks here. I have the Oracle deck that is wellness with a focus on money. Then I have the regular money Oracle deck. Then I have a Monopoly Tarot deck. Then I have a Gilded Tarot deck. Let's start with the first Oracle deck. The first card that came out is Clover, and it says, have good fortune. I have good fortune. My eyes are messing with me. I have good fortune. And obviously with the Clover, there is some additional luck. One thing that I've noticed on this card is that it says, if you lost something, you'll receive it back tenfold. That's what it's saying on this card. If you've lost something, you will receive it back tenfold. But luck is on your side at this moment. Now, the second card that came out is Rest and Recuperate. Again, the card that came out is Rest and Recuperate. And this is where you take time out for you. And I can tell you, sometimes we get really focused on things and we start burning the candle at both ends. And we may find some progress being extremely focused and just constantly working. But eventually, if you don't pour back into yourself, if you don't take the time to rest and recharge your mind and do a reset, then eventually it will sabotage the work that you've accomplished, because you have to take an extended rest, and then that'll put you behind schedule. And then it's just a whole process that can be avoided if you just take the time to rest and recuperate. The final Oracle card for the Wellness Oracle that came out is Organize. And it says, I am organized for success. I am organized for success. And being organized does make a difference, but also I'm hearing multitasking. The card didn't come out in the Money Oracle deck because that's one of the cards is multitasking, but I am hearing that. And in order for you to be successful at multitasking, you have to be very, very organized. So just keep that in mind. Let's get into the second Oracle deck. One of the cards that came out is Performance Evaluation. Performance Evaluation. And the other card that came out is Negotiate. Negotiate. Some of you are up for a performance evaluation. This is where the title comes from, is don't be afraid to ask for what you're worth. There are some changes happening right now in your life because the changes card came out. And also the right direction card came out. So you're headed in the right direction. I do feel there are those who will definitely receive some type of pay increase from their performance evaluation. A card that came out was spending. So once you get the pay increase, I'm hearing don't spend it before you have it, is what I'm hearing. So like if you're making a certain amount of money and let's say you get a 5% or a 10% bump, and then you know what your paycheck will be moving forward, don't start spending yet. Wait until you get a few paychecks under your belt and then determine how you want to allocate the money in your budget in doing that. I really believe spending is a big thing because the energy is calling out to me on this card. And what I'm picking up is some of you would be surprised if you knew exactly where your money was going. Meaning if you knew line by line, charge by charge, every single thing you were spending money on, once you go back over the month and look at it, you would be shocked. And I'm recommending that. Start keeping track of every single expense. It doesn't matter if it's a $1 candy bar at the grocery store. Keep track of gas in the car, Netflix subscription, phone bill, internet bill, grocery out, out on the town, going to the movies, going out to eat, whatever, anything that you spend money on, keep track of the charges. And then after a month, go back over it and see what you spent. And I promise you, you will actually say to yourself or question yourself, like, oh, I spent money on that, or I spent that much on that. There will be some of that in there. Now, let's talk more about the synergy and not being afraid to ask for what you're worth. The first card that came out in the first tarot deck is the Knight of Pentacles. The first card that came out in the second tarot deck is the Eight of Pentacles reversed. One thing that I was getting, and this might be why some of you are possibly apprehensive on asking for more money, is because you may not be as fast as others on the job. Some people might be a little bit faster than you, but whatever it is that you do, you're a lot more accurate than the average person. Where the average person might have a certain amount of mistakes, you hardly have any mistakes. And I believe that is playing a role in your job, where people do respect your work. Also, what I feel is that you're not, how can I say this? You're not social at your job. I'm not getting social in this energy. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But I'm not getting social. I get that you're the type of person who comes in, you do your job, and that's it. You're not necessarily looking to be a kiss, someone who kisses up to people or what have you. You're not necessarily looking to build alliances. You're not into office politics. That doesn't seem to be your thing. Your thing seems to be, okay, let me just focus on my work and get it done. I'm here to do a job, and that's what I'm doing. The moon, which is Pisces and Cancer energy, is showing care, followed by the Emperor. Two, what I also notice is that somebody in a high position, they've been watching you and you don't know it. They've been watching you and you don't know it, because the moon, things are hidden. There could be secrets. Someone, the Emperor energy, which the Emperor is Aries energy, sometimes Capricorn, because the Emperor is the father of the tarot deck. Capricorn is the father of the zodiac. The Emperor can deal with institutions. Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn, can also deal with institutions and order. So there's somebody, or maybe a group of people higher up, that have been watching you and you haven't realized it. One thing they noticed about you is your strength. Because for whatever type of work you do, it takes a lot to be focused and stay with it and not get distracted. Now, for the second deck, I'm seeing Temperance, which is Sagittarius energy, and also Strength is Leo energy. I see Judgment, which is Scorpio energy. And then I see the Hermit, which is also going back to what I said. I feel like you really keep to yourself on the job. You just do what's in front of you. That's it. On the first deck, the Two of Swords is at the bottom of the deck. And I do feel, because Two of Swords can be about indecision, and also it can be about blocking, it can be about making a choice. Indecision might be there because in your eyes, you may not have what you believe they're looking for, or you feel you may not be as qualified for a higher pay. But from what I'm looking at here, with the Strength card and the Emperor, also the Four of Wands, too, I believe you are way more balanced than you give yourself credit for. Also with the Temperance, because Temperance is about balance too. It's about alchemy. It's taking something and balancing it out with something else. With the Judgment, this will give you a new perspective and a new start. I will tell you that this raise that you would receive, if anyone finds out about it, there will be some people who are upset. The reason I'm saying that is because I have the Four of Wands, which is a happy occasion, in the first deck, the Ace of Wands in the second deck, which is also happy. It's a new fire, a new start, passion for what you do. Maybe you were losing the passion before, but once they give you this pay increase or possibly a promotion, that will ignite a new passion under you. Three of Wands at the bottom of the deck, you feel like your ships are coming in. But with the Four of Wands and the Ace of Wands, that gives me the Five of Wands, which is conflict. Also, Five of Wands can be training too. So some of you might have to do a little bit of extra training for whatever this raise, this pay increase is doing, or possibly a promotion. So that could be happening too. With the Three of Wands of your ships coming in, so 3 + 5 is 8. 8 is fast communication. 8 can also be travel. For some of you, you may need to travel for this. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But what I'm getting is that they do have faith in your work. It's just because you're, again, not into the office politics, you're not that social. It's more you keep your head down. And with the Hermit here, which is Virgo energy, they recognize that you have a wealth of knowledge. That is what they recognize. I think with this Eight of Pentacles being in reverse, this is just more about you doubting yourself than something being off at the job. It's more of you being in your head. And that might go back to the rest and recuperate, where, and I'm getting this now, another reason you need to rest and recuperate is so you can stay balanced at work. Because if you're not fully rested, if you're not at your best, then your work could suffer because of it, and you don't want that. Because your work is what you're known by. But when it comes to the performance evaluation, don't be afraid to negotiate, and don't be afraid to ask for what you're worth. Again, the clover came out at the beginning, which is meaning luck is on your side. You just have to get a little bit more organized, and you just have to make sure that you stay well rested. All right. So Scorpio, if you made it this far, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, be blessed.